I just want everybody never to feel alone. The first lyrics of the song are, never lose hope or be blinded by the light. Never lose love. It helps the world unite. And that's what I want possible.
Anita Harris, known for her lively performances in the beloved Carry On films and her hit songs from the swinging 60s, has entertained millions over the years. But in May 2023, just days after celebrating their golden wedding anniversary, she lost her husband of 50 years, Mike Margolis, which led to her toughest role yet, figuring out how to navigate life without her greatest love and creative partner. Mike's struggle with Alzheimer's disease, starting with his diagnosis in 2015, turned into an 8-year journey that changed both their lives and pushed Harris to face grief in unexpected ways. The foundation of an unbreakable bond. Mike Margolis entered Anita Harris's life in the mid-60s, when she was already making waves as a performer with the Cliff Adams Singers. Their meeting occurred during an audition for a musical revue, where two ambitious young talents found themselves drawn together by shared creative vision and mutual respect. What began as a professional partnership quickly blossomed into something deeper and more meaningful than either had expected. Mike had already established himself as a multifaceted creative force, a record producer, writer, painter, and life fellow of the Royal Society of Arts, whose artistic sensibilities complemented Harris's own theatrical instincts. When he became her manager in the 1960s, their working relationship proved to be the perfect foundation for romance. He produced her recording of Just Loving You, which would become her signature hit and cement her place in British pop history. Their courtship unfolded against the backdrop of London's vibrant entertainment scene, where Harris was simultaneously building her reputation as both a singer and actress. Mike's understanding of the entertainment industry, combined with his genuine appreciation for her talent, created a partnership that transcended typical romantic relationships. He saw her not just as a performer to be managed, but as an artist whose potential could be nurtured and expanded through thoughtful collaboration. The couple's decision to marry in 1973 marked the beginning of what would become one of entertainment's most enduring partnerships. Mike continued to serve not only as her husband, but also as creative collaborator, writing songs specifically for her and helping to shape her artistic direction throughout their decades together. The shadow of illness.
I really have been terribly aware that there's been a silence. I'm not very good at talking about it. Even I find the D word hard to say. Dementia.
The first signs that something was changing came gradually, manifesting in small moments that initially seemed insignificant. Mike began asking questions that revealed his growing confusion about familiar situations, expressing concerns about what was happening to his memory and cognitive abilities. These early symptoms of what would later be diagnosed as Alzheimer's disease created an atmosphere of uncertainty that gradually became impossible to ignore. When Mike received his official diagnosis in 2015, the news brought both relief and devastation. Relief in finally having an explanation for the changes they had been witnessing, and devastation in understanding what lay ahead. Harris found herself thrust into a role she had never imagined, primary caregiver for the man who had been her anchor and creative partner for decades. The progression of Mike's condition created challenges that tested every aspect of their relationship. Harris witnessed her brilliant, creative husband gradually losing access to the memories and abilities that had defined him throughout their life together. The man who had crafted intricate storylines and managed complex creative projects began struggling with basic daily tasks and recognizing familiar faces. Despite the overwhelming nature of his diagnosis, Mike maintained his characteristic sense of humor and grace, often making light of situations to put others at ease when his memory failed him. This approach reflected the deep kindness and consideration that had characterized their relationship from the beginning. Harris describes the experience as overwhelmingly painful, watching helplessly as the disease systematically dismantled the mind of the person she loved most. The isolation that comes with caring for someone with Alzheimer's added another layer of difficulty to an already impossible situation, as the demands of caregiving left little time or energy for maintaining connections with the outside world. The hardest decisions. As Mike's condition deteriorated, Harris faced the agonizing decision many families dealing with Alzheimer's must eventually confront: whether to seek professional care outside the home. The progression of his symptoms, particularly following a severe bout with COVID-19 that required a 4-week hospital stay, made it clear the level of care he needed exceeded what could be provided in their home environment. The COVID-19 diagnosis proved to be a devastating setback that accelerated Mike's decline significantly. Harris nearly lost him 4 separate times during his hospitalization, experiences that left her emotionally shattered while simultaneously strengthening her resolve to fight for every moment they still had together. When he finally returned home, the exacerbation of his symptoms made the reality of his condition impossible to deny. The decision to place Mike in professional care represented one of the most difficult moments of Harris's life. Despite understanding that he would receive better medical attention and specialized care, the emotional toll of separating from the person who had been her constant companion for nearly 5 decades was almost unbearable. The nursing home they selected provided excellent care, but it could never replace the comfort and familiarity of their shared home. Even after Mike moved to professional care, Harris maintained her role as his primary emotional support system. She visited him every evening, tucking him into bed and telling him she loved him, maintaining the intimate rituals that had sustained their relationship throughout their marriage. Their 49th wedding anniversary in 2022 took on special significance as both recognized it might be among their last shared celebrations. Despite the challenges posed by Mike's condition, Harris was determined to honor their decades of marriage and the love that had sustained them through every challenge they had faced together. A love song's final notes. The approach of their golden wedding anniversary in May 2023 carried bittersweet significance for Harris and Mike. 50 years of marriage represented an extraordinary achievement under any circumstances, but celebrating this milestone while navigating the final stages of Alzheimer's disease added profound poignancy to the occasion. Harris had always believed in the power of small celebrations and meaningful gestures, understanding that Mike's condition meant they needed to cherish each moment while he was still able to participate in their shared experiences. The golden anniversary celebration was intentionally gentle and intimate, focusing on the love and companionship that had sustained them rather than elaborate festivities that might overwhelm Mike's fragile cognitive state. Just days after their anniversary celebration, Mike passed away peacefully with Harris by his side. The timing of his death, coming so shortly after their milestone celebration, provided a sense of completion that offered some comfort amid the devastating loss. He had lived to see their golden anniversary, fulfilling what had become an unspoken goal for both of them during his final months. Harris's immediate response to Mike's death reflected the grace and strength that had characterized her approach to caregiving. Her public statement emphasized gratitude for their time together. The phrase, "Mike gifted me with a forever love," captured the essence of their relationship. The continuing performance.
My motivation for writing a song in memory of my beloved Mike is that I feel sometimes I can give a message better through music. Music was the whole of our lives.
Despite the profound grief of losing Mike, Harris has continued to maintain an active performance schedule, finding that work provides both distraction from loss and connection to the creative partnership they shared throughout their marriage. Her decision to keep performing reflects her understanding that music and entertainment had been central to their relationship, and abandoning these pursuits would diminish rather than honor Mike's memory. Recent performances have taken on new meaning as Harris incorporates her experiences with loss and advocacy into her repertoire. Audiences have responded to the added emotional depth that grief has brought to her interpretations, recognizing the authenticity that comes from performing after experiencing profound personal transformation. These performances serve multiple purposes: honoring Mike's memory, maintaining the career they built together, and providing platforms for continued advocacy work. Now it's time to hear from you. How can we better support those who care for loved ones with Alzheimer's disease? Let us know in the comments section below.